Well guys, it is tournament time. I have decided to stop doing intros on my videos. We're just gonna get right to it. So 4 minutes till line's in, and then we're gonna start fishing for MAKB Event 4 on Lake Buell. Today's goal, today's plan is to have fun. I don't care about the mission, I don't care about the game plan. At the end of the day, my goal here is to catch fish, have fun, treat it like a day of fun fishing, make some good content, and that's it. We're not really going at it with any specific strategy. We're not gonna spin out, we're not gonna get stressed out. We're just gonna have a fun day on the water, so let's go. I knew that was gonna work. I had a feeling. There we go, guys. First fish on the board. Early. On the jig, baby. I knew that was gonna work. Or at least had a feeling. Start off right. Boom, boom, boom. Just under 17 and a quarter. All right, guys, GoPro. Check that out, first fish on the board. You have absolutely no idea the relief that I feel catching a bass that early. 17-inch bass right out of the gate. Super excited for that fish catch. You just don't understand when you blank 2 events in a row to be able to pull out a bass of that caliber on your like 3rd or 4th cast. Just really builds my confidence, really makes me feel like I can do this and I can play with the big boys. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work the rest of this grass line with a jig, and then we're gonna go hit some docks, because what that's telling me is that those bass are in the overhead structure. So they're probably hiding out underneath the cover. And if they're doing it there, that means they very well might be doing it in the docks as well. And that's something that I've struggled with, is figuring out, the logic of where the bass would be. You need to figure out where they might be before you can decide what bait to use. And that was the right decision. I was gonna not stop here. To be honest, I wasn't gonna fish this, but something told me, pull out that jig. Let's work this area a little bit and see if there's any fish here. And if there is, work our way down through and then hit those docks and pick up a couple other bites. Jig again, baby. Love it. Love it. I think he counts. I'm not really sure. We're gonna put him on the board. We'll see. I forget what the minimum is. I think it's 10 inches. But I think he counts. Alright guys, fish number 2 on the board. 12.5 inches. He's actually bigger than the one I thought he was. 13 and a quarter. 13 and a quarter on the board. Well guys, I think I figured out my bait because black and blue jig is destroying right now. There's a third fish on it. So I think that's what we're gonna have to do. We're just gonna have to stay shallow, run along the shoreline, and keep running this jig. Not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna retie though. This is something that has plagued me in the past, and I'm not gonna make that mistake. Forgotten to retie multiple times in tournaments, and I will never make that mistake again. So we're gonna cut this off. We're just gonna retie it again real quick. I really actually am a little bit superstitious too, so retying sometimes gets in my head, but I'm gonna tell you that doing a quick retie is worth the risk, because eventually when you run especially a jig, you're doing a lot of bottom contact, you're grinding that thing on the bottom. The fish has pretty much the whole bait in their mouth. There's a lot that can happen even to straight braid, and the smallest of nicks, you get that monster fish on, that's going to be the difference between that fish breaking off, taking your jig that you've been catching on all day, and losing that fish, versus just taking the second. As you saw, it doesn't take very long to retie and ensure that you don't lose out. Now that did break off an appendage on my cross. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to change that out, but luckily I got more. Number 4, baby. There you go, guys, 13 3/4. So almost got a limit. In 3rd place right now, guys. Still working towards calling out some of those smaller ones, but it's a good start to the day. Think he's long enough. Not 100% sure. He might be the minimum. All right, that's the 5th one right there. So that's a full limit with that fish. Now the thing is, now I've got a cull. So if those of you not familiar with how tournaments work, that is the second to biggest fish. I have a 12.5 in my list. So basically I have to catch a fish bigger than 12.5 for it to now count, because I only get 5 total fish as my score. It's the 5 biggest fish that I have on the board. So ultimately, from here on out, it's all the fish we got to catch have got to be a little bit bigger than the smallest fish on my list, and just keep working my way up. Hopefully, we can keep pulling some bigger bass out of here. They've all been about the same size. I'm hoping to look into maybe some 16s. I will say I never, ever look at the score, but I'm in 2nd place right now. Now it is early. It is 9 o'clock. We have until 2 o'clock. So we've got a long day ahead of us, but this right here is making me super excited, because I've been catching them, and I think I'm gonna be able to continue to catch them, because I think I have an idea what the pattern is. So what a difference a day makes, you know, going from catching no fish to in 2nd place. It's crazy how this fishing tournament game works. Oh, that's a bigger bass. Get out of that. Oh, that's a big bass. That's a lot bigger bass. No, 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 no. You're not getting into that freaking. Oh, man. Get in that net. Yeah. Hell yeah. That is what I needed right there. That's going to be a big call right there, guys. Oh, that makes me excited. The right decision was made to come back up top. That right there is a huge, huge catch right there. To be sure that he gets a good photo. And listen. listen, you're about to be free. I promise you. All right, guys, check that beast out. That is a monstrous bass. That's a nice fish. We're gonna let him go back. That's a huge, huge coal right there, guys. All right, we're gonna call it 17 1/4. $17.25. I don't normally check the score, guys. It's something I usually try to avoid because it gets in my head, but I definitely want to see where that one puts me. Okay, so that locks me in at second place at 74 total inches. We still got plenty of time to cull up a little bit more, but that is a huge, huge cull. That's like a 3.5 inch cull. So that means that if I can get another one of those, that's gonna be a big, big day. I am so excited about that. Whew. Gotta keep going, gotta keep going. Whoa. Whoa. Is that a freaking another bass? So that one right there is 14 1/4. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that one's gonna be like a 1/2 inch cull. So we're gonna check right now. Actually gonna check my current scores. No, that's actually, I got a 12 3/4, so that's actually going to be a pretty significant cull, actually. It's gonna be about 1 inch, so that's really, really good. So with that fish, guys, 6 inches out of first. So if I can get another one of those 17s, I'm gonna be pretty close to getting up in the top of the ranks. So really, really need to get another one of those 17s, but we're gonna keep plugging away. I'm actually gonna check to see what my current smallest is now. So my current smallest now is 13.25, and that's gonna be what we need to beat next. Well, that'll do it for me, guys. Sorry for the abrupt cutover, but the tournament's over. I'm actually driving home. I didn't say it in the intro, but this tournament is a road runner tournament. So what that means is there's 5 lakes, and when you signed up for the tournament, you picked which of the 5 you wanted to fish. The reason why that's significant is because the way the weigh-in works for a tournament like that is some of those lakes do not have service, so they can't submit fish while on the water. So they gave everybody a 2-hour window after lines out to submit their fish. And we're now beyond that window because I drove home. I decided not to go to the weigh-in. I didn't want to drive the extra half hour, wait for 2 hours, and then have to do the 3-hour drive home. It just wasn't worth it to me. But I am proud to say we took 3rd overall, which is a money spot and top 5 finish. So I'm really, really excited. It was a great day on the water. Everything I caught was actually on a black and blue jig, which was cool because the skirt that was on that jig was one that I made. I actually took a Berkley power bait jig, took the skirt off of it, made my own black and blue skirt, and then I fished it paired up with a chigger craw. The other bait that I caught with was a laminated black and blue with June bug worm that I make myself, that I actually pour myself. So everything that I caught on today was custom baits. So I'm really excited about that. I do want to mention that I'm not going to be fishing MAKB for the rest of the year, but I will be doing more tournaments. So I'm going to be fishing in a different trail on the Adirondack side in New York. So I'm going to be fishing Lake George and Lake Champlain to close out the season. I can't do these long drives anymore. They're just too much. They're exhausting, and it takes me a few days to recover after driving 3 hours and over 100 miles one way to the events. So I decided to get something a little closer to home. So I'm still doing tournaments, just going to be doing them for a different trail. I want to thank you guys for coming along with me. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and as always, let's get out there, catch more fish.